Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and maintenance. Today we're going to tackle the question of whether or not you should work out in the morning or you should work out in the afternoon/evening. Now before I begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, Naturopathic Earth, which has hundreds of recipes and articles, all written by me. My 2 books, and if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. Now, the basis of this question is all predicated on you working out. Now, you can, of course, lose weight by not working out. It is certainly possible to do that because really weight loss is about, I would say, 60% diet and 30% probably exercise, 10% stress or sleep, but maybe a little more than 10%. But exercise is an important component simply because 2 reasons. The number one reason I would tell you has nothing to do with weight loss. It has to do with overall heart health and longevity, and we all want to live a long life. So part of that is going to be keeping your heart in good health. If we look at the fitness playlist, I do have a lot of videos about kind of the balance between strength training and cardio. And spoiler alert, I would tell you that cardio is more important. That's not to say strength training is not important, because all the lunkheads will be like, we don't have to do cardio. Yeah, you do. It has to do with heart health. But lifting weights is good for you. There's always an excuse. But no, you do need to do cardio in addition to strength training. But the second benefit to just working out, aside from it's going to lead hopefully to a longer life, is simply because you are burning calories, so it gives you a little more leeway or expenditure. So let's say you consume 2,600 calories in a given day. That's the average for men. But if you're working out, whether it be strength training, cardio, whatever it is, you burn another 700 calories. That's either 700 calories more you could have eaten that day, or you could be 700 calories under the 2,600, which puts you in a deficit. And if you're doing that every day, working out every day, or having that caloric deficit every day, that's how you lose a pound. I think it's something like 500 calories less for 7 days straight leads to a pound of weight loss. So in that regard, it's helpful too. So going to the question of morning or evening, I would tell you the answer to that is ultimately on one level, it doesn't matter when you work out, so long as you are working out. It needs to be as kind of inculcated into your daily routine as a bowel movement. It really does. Now, you can take days of rest, like Sunday, but we've talked about on the episode, fat people can't have cheat days in terms of eating and on exercise. You just have less of a leeway when you are overweight in terms of cheat days, because cheat days start adding up. And it's the same thing with off days on working out. Well, I'm going to take Sunday. Oh, no, I'll take Thursdays and Sunday. No, I'm going to take Tuesday, Thursday. No, the first episode we ever did here was the number one thing you must do to lose weight and to keep it off, and it's change your paradigm. And part of changing your paradigm is you do have to work out. So going to the specifics, I will tell you that I probably have some confirmation bias. I would tell you that it's better to work out in the morning. Now, that being said, most of my life, I did my workouts in the afternoon. If you go to Reflections of a Weight Loss, where I talk about how I used to go to the gym probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, 4 to 6 o'clock in that time, and I would do my running or I'd lift weights, and I would do that. I would eat lunch maybe around 1, and in college it was so nice. I used to be able to take naps and then go to the gym and then come back and eat. And so I noticed the older I get though, and then when I started comparing it to morning, I just think I get better workouts in the morning. So most of my workout decade, so to speak, I would say I was doing in the afternoon. But there were times, especially once I was married, that I would have to work out in the morning. Like once you get like a 9 to 5, and some days you're going to get home late and you have it wired into you to work out. Sometimes I was doing the wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Normally I wake up at 5. Wake up at 5 in the morning when it's still dark and cold, and Texas can get cold in the winter. And put on the sneakers and go running in the neighborhood. And that is not ideal. I don't like to do the early morning runs. That is not who I am. But some people get into that, and that's fine. What I've done, because of the flexibility of my schedule, probably the last 3 years, is I tend to work out around early morning. It really depends on my schedule, but I kind of like that time. And one of the reasons I like that time, and I think there's 2 main reasons. One is when you work out in the morning, you kind of get the mindset of, I've done it for the day. Like it's just like having the bowel movement, right? I worked out. And so now the afternoon is, now the afternoon's a little freer. Now, some of you might not understand or relate to this because working out is not wired into you. So you don't get like, well, why does it free up your day? Just don't work out. No, that shows you haven't changed your paradigm. And look, I mean, there's a fine line. You don't want to be an exercise addict. You don't want to be these people that are at the gym for 5 hours. You don't want to be that. But you do want to find time, because it is important for weight loss and weight maintenance to be working out. So I think one reason I like morning workouts is because I can, so to speak, get it out of the way. Secondly, I fast until, I'd say the last 2-3 years, until about 2:30 to 3 p.m. And then I eat until about 7. So I guess it's a quasi 1 meal a day, quasi OMAD, maybe more like a warrior diet kind of thing. And so when I am working out while fasting, I just notice my energy is stronger, my my lifting is better, my cardio is better. And it kind of makes sense on one level, because I don't have to shunt blood down to my intestines when I'm working out, because there's nothing for my body to break down. If I'm working out at 10 a.m., I haven't eaten since 7 p.m. the last day. When I start working out, boom, all the blood gets shunted to my muscles. But if you compare that to, let's say, you eat at 12 or you eat at 1 even, and you're working out at 4, digestion is still going on for that food that you ate. And so a lot of that blood has to be shunted away from the intestines to your muscles. So, I mean, I would say that's a kind of an unscientific way to talk about it. But for me personally, and this channel is all about what has worked for me for 30 plus years, is I like working on the morning when I'm fasting, just because of the ease and convenience of it. And I just have better energy levels. Now, that's not to say that even when I work out in the morning, I still take a 1 mile, 2 mile walk at night. And I walk my dog, who you might have just seen, around 6 in the morning, 5:30, 6 in the morning for maybe a mile or 2. So I am still doing working out, and I'll still do push-ups and calisthenics throughout the day. Lastly, you'll find studies that will kind of vindicate both. And we talked about this with what should you be a vegetarian. You'll find studies that'll say that it's better to work out in the morning. You'll find studies that say it's better to work out in the afternoon. You'll find studies that say, well, you're more likely to spike your appetite if you work out maybe in the afternoon, because you come home, you're like, I just worked out, now I'm going to eat 5 Big Macs. So there is a psychological aspect to it. I really can't speak for that, because like with the vegetarian episode, it's like you're going to find studies that say both things either way. I'm only going to speak for myself. I would tell you the answer to this question is workout. That it doesn't really matter. If you have the flexibility, I would tell you I would prefer morning workouts. Last thing is, the studies are very clear. You don't want to do high intensity interval training or high intensity cardio later than, let's say, 8 o'clock, because I would say even 7 o'clock, because it can affect your sleep, because you are spiking all this cortisol. And we know cortisol is an antagonist of melatonin, which is our sleep hormone neurotransmitter. So you don't want to work out too late. But aside from that, I would tell you, I prefer the morning, but you just do what works for you. Guys, post in the comments, when do you work out? Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.